Alrighty, so this is going to be just a basic tutorial for Ztar attack to any percent. So movement here, I tried to record a reasonably clean segment of this, but ultimately if you just want to get a run done, it doesn't have to be crazy clean. And you can do like some more basic movement here. You could just like double jump up to that area. But ideally try and do something that resembles what I'm doing here. There are a few movement options for different sections, but this is reasonably fast and fine. Be careful with this slope here. You do need to get a triple jump off that. You can long jump into it and then jump dive. There's a few other things you can do, but it is a slippery slope. You can't long jump off that steep slope there, so make sure you get over to the flat part before you go. This section here is a little bit tricky. You could do some alternate movement here. That long jump is kind of tough. But yeah, it doesn't really matter too much. Most important things in this tutorial are going to be the BLJ, the clip through the wall, and probably the final fight, I guess. We'll see as we go. Again, you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. Some of it isn't, like, perfectly optimal. You could, like, look at the world record or something, I guess. And obviously, yeah, you could go a little bit safer if you wanted to. But coming up here is the BLJ. This is probably the most important thing to get right. Now, I've slowed this down to show you want a really late frame long jump on the first part of the BLJ. I have about 4 sliding backwards frames before I start jumping, which is pretty much what you want. Pressing A about 10 times seemed to work pretty well. And once you get the actual BLJ, make sure you keep holding right until Mario's like lost all his speed. And then we have this section here. Oh yeah, this is the, coming up is like one of the other really important things, which is skipping to get up to the shell. For this section here, if you want to be optimal, you want to do a speed kick here where I do a jump, because then the platforms will be lined up. But if they're not lined up, you can just do a jump. You can like stop and do a slower long jump to make sure the platforms rise up, but as you saw, it worked out. Ideally, I would just double jump straight onto that block and not do a side flip, but whatever. So here we got 2 alternate strats, because this hack has 45-degree wall kicks, so you can actually make that work, or you can go for the double firsty. Pretty sure the double firsty is faster. But I don't actually know. I didn't time it. I guess I could have looked at that. But either way, I would kind of recommend just going for whichever one of the 2 you feel more comfortable with. Then we got this section on the shell. I probably should have just sped up this footage. There's not really anything to say about here. But yeah, just really make sure you practice the BLJ. Try and get some level of consistency with it. And that skip to get up onto the shell. Those are 2 really important parts of the run. Probably where a lot of resets will occur for people grinding for better times. I set a state here, but I didn't end up using it. I should have just tried to record the whole section in one go cleanly. But yeah, obviously you could like set up a long jump where I did that double jump dive. You know, there's always like simpler options. Don't be afraid to like change the movement a little bit to make it easier. Try not to have too much speed when you land on that note block or you'll bonk on the wall. That's something that's important. That's a pretty good tip in general while running this. There do seem to be a lot of note blocks that are very close to a wall, and so if you like try and long jump into it with speed, you'll bonk, which is annoying. And what's coming up here? Oh yeah, you can... diving here and then doing this movement like this is, I think, the best way to do that. You can just like go straight from the spring into a wall kick. But it's, if you get a firsty, you're in trouble. And you're going at high speed, so it can be tough to time that wall kick. Again here, this double jump dive is a little scary, but I think it's actually probably the best movement to get across there. And then going along here, not a lot to say here, go straight through the Bowser thing. Oh yeah, the bomb clip here. This is not too tough, you've just got to aggro the bomb. Make sure he doesn't like run over the corner and fall in there. I hold slightly up left if you actually go into the up left notch, you'll open the door or maybe even get clipped out to the left of the block and it'll fail. You can always just run back and, you know, the bomb will respawn if you go back far enough. Then you exit course and you go into this area. And this has like quick travel pipes to all the different stages. I'm not sure why, but like opening that cannon seems to just unlock the final stage. I have no idea why it works that way. But yeah, come out of the pipe, just go all the way down the end here. Dusty rollout, which is kind of gross, but whatever, I couldn't be bothered re-recording it. And yeah, we're getting to the end of the run. There's like one more little trick to skip out a bunch. This BLJ here is not required, but if you get a really good BLJ, it is fast. But obviously you can, you know, you can see there's nothing in your way. You can just like run through that area. Now here, it's important to be crouched. You'll down warp. If you're not crouched, you'll just fall through the wall. So it like won't fail as long as you're just like pushing up against the wall. It should work. This part here I got a little lucky with the cycles. I'm not sure exactly how that works. But again, if you fall in the lava, it doesn't even matter. You can get back up to the top area. And yeah, take note of how many wall kicks you need there. Going into Mario Cam helps a little. I didn't quite land in the pipe here, which kind of sucked. But yeah, ideally you would go directly into the pipe. You can do a BLJ here. I could never really get it to work very well, so I didn't show it off. I just do relatively normal movement. Then we have a Bowser fight, which is not the final fight. There's one more after this. This Bowser fight is kind of tough. The bombs are like pretty far away. It's a little bit awkward. You can of course do stuff like just throw Bowser once towards the bomb and set up an easier throw. You could run through Bowser's tail and get a tail touch and just go stand near the bombs or something like that if you're really worried about it. The bombs are really close to the edge, so if you really hate throws, you could just do that. And yeah, presumably you can like 2-spin Bowser for all of these throws, but I wasn't in the mood to do that. So, whatever. It was 3 out of 3 throws, it was reasonably clean. And then after this we have the final fight, which is very awkward. It consists of killing 5 boos to spawn a big boo. And you're using the wing cap. This switch has a warp on top of it. I guess I forgot how that worked while I was recording this. I don't know what I was doing there. But yeah, jump on the switch. Don't go into that pipe like I almost did. Just go across here. The level entry here is a little awkward. This is a slope. It can be a little tricky to get a side flip. But you can just like face downward on the hill and backflip up there or whatever. And yeah, you get a triple jump here. Go off to the right. I'm not the best at this boss fight, but the idea is you want to go to where the boo is going to move to. And the boo's movement is based on your speed. So they'll move really fast. So like that first boo, you gotta aim pretty far to the left of him as you're coming in to actually hit him. You can actually just like kill all of them in one flight, flying through them. As long as you have enough speed, just flying through them will take damage. Didn't quite hit that one, but yeah, I'll have to work on this. Missed the side flip as well. This fight actually kind of sucks, but you get the general idea. For the final boo, very important to have enough speed to actually count as a hit, and to not have him facing you. I didn't quite get into position for that first hit. It is possible to get a hit there. But ultimately, just look at where he's going to go to, and try and turn towards that. And make sure you're not facing him. If he's facing me like that, I know I just have to turn really tight, and I'll get the hit. If you're low speed, you will take a bonk and fall down. So, I just chose to get on the platform every single time. It's also important to remember that the run does not end on this final star here. You do actually have to like run to the final area, and the timer stops on fade out of this area. So yeah, ignore Peach. In 90 star, you would need to talk to her to get a star. But yeah, the timer ends when like you go through that last loading zone.